Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. My house is looking like nobody lives here. It is insanely not clean, and we need to tackle this. Me and the kids had a few days of just chilling, just baking, cooking, and we kind of let the house go a little. So today I am going to be giving it a good clean. I'm going to start with the sofas because I lifted the cushion, the one that you sit on, and it gave me a fright, as you will see right now. It looks terrible. And yeah, so I need to get this done first. I'll use my vacuum cleaner just to get rid of all this mess, and I'll do the same for the other sofa, and then we're going to move on with other things.
But it's not like I need it, and you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces.
Now that my sofas are decent, I am going to tackle all the mess that we've got sitting under the coffee tables. These are the kids, because we're homeschooling now, so these are all the kids' school books that we've been working with. So I just need to put that away. I have this little basket thing that I have, and it works really well to gather all this stuff in. There's a few other mess things that we need to kind of clear from here before we can do any cleaning. I am going over it with the little brush on my vacuum cleaner just to get rid of all the dust before I use a spray to clean everything with.
I just need to clear my head.
I am using an antibacterial spray everywhere in the house. We're in terrible times. Antibacterial is like gold at the moment. I need to clean everything with antibacterial. So it's not my usual cleaning. So everything has to be cleaned down with antibacterial wipes and antibacterial sprays just to make sure that it is nice and clean and disinfected.
I just need to clear my head. I just need.
I am doing exactly the same thing on this TV stand as well, just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. And I'm going to do that all throughout the surfaces around this living area. I'm cleaning step by step, just making sure that one space is finished, then I move on to the next.
I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head.
I haven't cleaned under my sofas for quite a while. Well, not quite a while, a few weeks. So I thought I better get underneath there and see what is lurking there. There were a few packets of nonsense and dust, and which just needed a little bit of attention. Under this sofa wasn't so bad, but and I tend to do the same to what I'm doing now, which is clean underneath the radiator and then dust by the radiator and clean them up, because the sofa sit in front of it, so it's a space that I don't clean all the time. That I clean this space, I don't tend to move that. So it's a very simple clean. Move it and then just do that. Under this sofa, however, was a different story altogether. The mess underneath here was ridiculous. There were pens, popcorn, and a whole bunch of nonsense which needed to be cleaned. Sometimes I wonder how these things find themselves underneath the sofa, to be honest with you. It's just mind-boggling to me. But I know that all I have to do is get it cleaned, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna hover here, and then I will move the sofa forward just to make sure that I get all the dirt that's sitting underneath it, because the space that I've moved it on is not quite that big. It's hitting the dining table, so I need to move it forward like I did here. And then I thought it's easier to just get this bit mopped so that it's dry, and then I can push the sofa back, and then that will be all good.
It's not like I need it, and you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces.
So while that was drying, I decided to tackle the skirting board on this side of the living room. I just really wanted to give this space a nice deep clean. it hadn't been done for quite a while, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was nice and clean. So the space is dry. I've pushed the sofa back, and then I vacuum, and then now I can mop and get this space all tidy, and that will be the end of it. Now that the living room is all done, I am going to tackle this dining area. I think we're doing this after the kids just finished studying, so I needed to kind of clear all their stuff away and just give this table a good clean. My daughter has been doing a lot of drawing and painting on here, so I'm just making sure that it is staying white. That's the anxiety of a white table. But we have this mat that she uses, that's from IKEA, that we put it on here. If I can find it, well, IKEA is closed, but I will link it below just in case you want to save it and then get it for later. But it's been a lifesaver for us. So I'm just using the same disinfectant just to make sure that it's nice and clean. I use a wet rag, and then I use a dry one just to make sure that everything is nice and dry. Doing exactly the same thing that I did in the other space, which is cleaning all the radiators underneath them and the skirting boards, just making sure everything is nice and clean. Once that was done, I hoovered, which I didn't show you guys how I vacuum cleaned this bit. And then I'm just going over it with my mop, making sure that I get rid of everything. I've moved all the chairs just to make sure that I clean everywhere thoroughly. And yeah, I really want to get into every little space to make sure that everything is nice and clean.
I just can't let you go.
At the back here, I am just removing all the decorations that I had on that space just to make sure that it is empty before I clean it. I had to do my mirror first. I love this mirror. It's from the range. I will link it below if they still have it. And then just added all my different stuff back. This was a really strange way to clean for me, to be honest, where I do bits and bits of spaces. I'm now in the kitchen. At this point, I was so tired. So what I decided to do, it was an easier way to do everything, was remove everything off the kitchen counters. And I literally just put them by the dining room door. I just moved everything over there because I am not going to get all the debris on top of the counters and make sure that I'm just cleaning and just make everything falls on the floor. This was the idea. Everything, you clean it and you just put it on the floor. This is the disinfectant I'm using is Dettol, and then I decided for some crazy tired reason that this felt like fun, using two of them at the same time. So it's the Flora and Dettol going on at the same time. I'm doing it everywhere, on the kitchen counters, on my fridge, on this coffee station, which I am going to decorate and put it on Instagram. I'm not sure when yet. And then I just need to clear up all the dishes that I had in here. I'd already washed them. This was after lunch, and a few that was still left here, just to make sure all of those are nice and clean and put them away before I start scrubbing.
I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head.
To clean the cooker, I am using this brush that I got from Amazon. I will link it below. And I am just scrubbing my life away. And I'll scrub the cooker, the backsplash, and all the surfaces with this brush. And I'm just using, there's a Flora that was there. I've added some washing up liquid, we called it in the UK, so detergent, just to make sure that it's all nice and clean. And then once that was done, I followed it on with some vinegar spray, just to make sure that I get a nice shine on all my surfaces as well. I am just going to follow the same system that I used to clean the cooker to clean this my kitchen counters as well. I'm using the same scrub I'd already sprayed it down, so with a little bit of detergent, and I'm still using a little bit of spray just to make sure that I get everything nice and clean. I'm using 2 rags, one of them that's really wet to go over it, and then a dry one to make sure that everything is nice and dry and clean.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to.
So now that all my surfaces are clean, I want to clean the soap dispenser, and I have some hand wash and cream here as well. So just make sure that all of that is nice and clean, and then once that's done, I am going to tackle the sink. But before I do that, I needed to clean this windowsill. It wasn't looking so great. So this is a time where, well, like I said, I'm doing a deep clean. I go everywhere, make sure that every surface is touched and it is nice and clean. And yeah, so that's what I am doing here. Once I was done with all of that, then I will then tackle the sink. For the sink, I am using what I use all the time, which is Barkeeper's Friend. I find this cleans my sink really well. Where I live, the water is really hard, so it leaves lime scale everywhere if you just let it sit. So this gets everything off. I love this brush. It's so easy and it's good for your hands as well. You don't get all that stuff on your hands. And then that once I finished doing all of that, then the only thing that was left to do was the floor. I couldn't wait to get to this space. I was super tired by the time I got here. And this is what the space is looking like. Very nice and clean. The floors are cleaned. Everything is in its place as it should be. And this is like my favorite time, when the house is clean, everything is tidy. Oh, I can breathe easy and it smells fresh and clean. It's just lovely. The kitchen looks amazingly clean now. I am so in love with this space now. It doesn't feel so daunting as it was when I started cleaning it. Everything has been cleaned and put where it's meant to be. The fridge is clean and the surfaces are nice and tidy. The sink is sparkling, which is how I like it to be. Now all we need to do is just keep it this way for the next week, I hope, but we're just gonna maintain it. I have a cleaning schedule which we haven't been following, so we have to start doing that just to make sure that I don't have to spend a whole full day getting just these spaces nice and clean again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. If you are new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe before you leave. I would absolutely appreciate that, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.